Hey guys, welcome to this week's weekly recap. It is February 15th, 2026. We got a lot to talk about, you guys, so let's get into it. All right, guys, so we've had some little volume, pretty decent over the weekend. This is a weekend, right? It's a little slow down, which is kind of common, but the APY is still looking pretty good. So if you're a node operator or if you're a BP, you are looking pretty happy right now. And speaking of bonding, we've got some news on that front, you guys. So RUNE Bond is currently having a new little tool here for node operators. If you want to increase your visibility on the website, you can now deposit RUNE to get you, higher on the ranking there. And this will be helpful for new node operators, right? Like if you're just starting, you want to track BPs, you can use this and it'll greatly assist in your visibility. A lot of node operators won't use this because if they're full, right, they don't need any more BP, so there's no reason to use this. So this is like a little helpful tool to help new node operators get some BP. So definitely check that, you guys. Speaking of node operators, there's some ADRs we got to talk about. So we did mention this in the last week. This is ADR 22, right? This is the advanced swap queue scoring and sorting. We're going to keep this super simple here. We're going to go over to our buddy Jayton here. He did this lovely TLDR for us. So there's a loophole. Streaming swaps break one big trade into many small subswaps. A whale could start a 1 million trade, and even though each subswap was small, the protocol saw that 1 million price tag and kept them in the front of the line every single block, right? So that's a problem. This is a design that can cause one arbitrager to have too much power. So the fix is with the 3.16 update, the queue will be sorted by individual subswap size, not total value. So to cut in line, you have to pay higher fees on the specific trade. And this is going to make it where more arbitrageurs can now compete. This will make the ecosystem, the competitive environment, much more healthy because THORChain is always built on incentives. If the incentives work, then the ecosystem will be healthy. So this is a great find and a great fix. There's also another ADR, guys. This is new. This was submitted by Booninator yesterday. So that'd be the 14th. And this is a supply restructure, right? So let's cut down here, get to the meat and potatoes here. The proposal basically burn 87% of the reserve, which is about 65 million RUNE, right? And if you did that, the total supply would be about 360 million RUNE. And he mentioned some things. It's like a round number, easy to understand. Maybe there's some memeable references with 360-degree profile rings. And there's also some other things to consider as well. You have to imagine someone who's learning about the THORChain ecosystem, they don't really know anything, right? And so when they're looking at the data for the first time, they're looking at the numbers, you want to reduce the cognitive burden for them to have a full and complete picture. And a lot of people look at total value locked, right? And that ratio versus the total market cap, right, of any protocol. And so if we can make that ratio shorter, make it easier to understand, it's just going to be better. Because a lot of people may not understand the reserve is something that just not going to get injected in the circulating supply, right? We know that, but they wouldn't know that. So burning the reserve to a very small amount, because we don't really hardly use the reserve at all, is a very good thing to do. And worst case scenario, for whatever reason, if we ever needed more RUNE in the reserve, it's something that could be minted back, right? I don't think we will, but caveat just in case. So it's no big deal either way. So I think this is so far it's been a debate. There's some people highlighting some concerns, but we'll see where this goes next week. Really great ADR from Boone. Thank you, Boone. Great job. Speaking about this topic, we did chat about this on the live stream on Thursday. We had a really fun conversation with Chad Barraford. We talked about that. We talked about ADR 22, that streaming swap thing that has consensus. We also talked about Hugin, the AI bot. That's always a popular topic. Very, very cool. So one thing we learned is that Chad's been trying to refine the process. So we always have one bot, one main Hugin bot that's always looking for issues. When it does find an issue, it then kicks it to a aggregation of 3 Hugin bots that then attack it as well, trying to figure out if there is a problem there. And if they agree majority consensus that, yes, this is something worthy of our time, then it gets submitted to the devs. And this has reduced the false positives by at least 80%. So this is a great job by Chad Barraford making this Hugin bot even more reliable, even more useful, and more efficient. In fact, he's been using it so much, he told us on the live stream that he's used all his tokens for the cloud. So We need to raise the credit for Chad. Raise the credit, you guys. Let's get this Hugen bot running 24/7. Love it. Great job. And also, Chad, guys, we are hiring. We are hiring a core dev, a Go developer. So if you are a Go developer or if you know somebody, please let them know about this. If you guys want to work on the coolest, most revolutionary protocol in the history of blockchain, look no better. This is your time. We are looking for talent. If that's you, please step up. You're going to have a great time and you're also going to change the world. Make sure to reach out to @ChadBarraford on X. We also, guys, had a live stream on Saturday and we had AutoRujira with Ale here. AutoRujira is super, super cool. So what that is we have our app layer where you can do all the DeFi primitives like on a centralized exchange, except permissionlessly, no KYC. Super awesome. AutoRujira gives you automations. And so you can do really cool things with like lending, perps, any of the primitives. One story that Ale gave us is his own personal experiences. He would have to do all these custom bots and things prior, and it takes time. It's hard to do. And he also missed some very important opportunities during the night when he's sleeping, right? With this system they're building here, let's click launch app. That makes it so much easier. It's all going to be in one central location. And there's going to be a lot of tools here. And so you're going to have interesting interplay between the different primitives. So if X happens on lending, you can take that profit and kick it to perps. And if something happens there, you can kick it somewhere else and blah, blah, blah. There's so much to think about. This is basically a toolkit for the most innovative minds to play in a sandbox that has never existed before. So raise the automations. Raise the automations. Super cool. You definitely need to check out that live stream. It was so much fun. Thank you, Ale. That was great getting to talk to you. We're going to stay on Rujira, guys. So, Code Hans, raise the caps. This is an OG shout back from 4 years ago. I love this so much. Raise the caps. It just makes me so happy to see that again. Raise the caps. This is about lending, right? Lending, raise the caps. So we're at 10K and we did raise the caps the very next day, 50K. So this is for each asset, each supported asset. Okay. So if we go to the lending page here, these are the vaults, right? So right here, this is what's live. And you can see here, this is the limit. So 50K is not necessarily true because if one BTC is worth $68,000, then it's more than 50K, right? But the stable coin's at $50,000. So if you look down here, XRP, there's 40,000. That roughly, it's about, I think it's about 60,000. I'm doing my math right. Litecoin 55, 1,000, $55,000. You guys get the point, right? So let's click borrow here. Let's check it out. What's going on? So guys, this is a 0 to 1. This has never existed before. This is cross-chain, real layer 1 lending, borrowing. This is the holy grail, permissionless, no KYC. Check it out. Let's put in a value here. Let's do a quarter Bitcoin, okay? So you want to deposit, $17,000 worth of Bitcoin to take out a loan. So then you set your risk tolerances here, right? So let's go down here. So we got, what is it, about 25%? So if the price of Bitcoin goes down 77%, 15,000, you would get liquidated. That's your liquidation price, right? This is your adjusted loan to value ratio. There's an interest rate. Okay, so this isn't like the previous THORFi design. There's interest rate. This is a well-proven model, right? This is kind of like Aave, but this is cross-chain. It's cross-chain. Okay, you following me? This is completely different. This is real layer 1 you're depositing and taking out loans. Okay, the big deal. And if you guys play with this here, look, you go all the way up. You can obviously see the risk tolerances, get crazier if you go like you want to borrow 10,000 from 17,000. So if you go down, if your price goes down to 62, you get liquidated. You guys, I think, understand what I'm trying to say here, right? So this is a big deal. Again, layer 1, you guys. This isn't like a wrapped asset, like maybe like someone on Bitco where you have to arbitrarily worry about a third party in terms of that human element. Okay. There's always protocol risk with every protocol. That's always going to be the case, but we remove the human element. And that is so very important, you guys. Do not forget that. So we're going to move on here. There is more to talk about. We've covered some of the stuff in the previous weekly updates, but if you want to pause the video right now and you can read this, you can do this. But I'm going to talk about one specific thing down here. It's at the very bottom. It's redacted. Okay. So what is redacted? Redacted, for those who don't know, that's the privacy layer on the app layer, right? This is so cool. Think of Zcash, shielded Zcash. The secured assets, which are wrapped assets of the layer 1s that you deposit, those get shielded Zcash capability. And so all the DeFi primitives I mentioned, lending, perps, money markets, prediction markets, all the things that coming, everything you can imagine, you can do it privately. Okay, this is unbelievable, you guys. Super incredible. The audit is complete, right? And so this is fail-safe. This is the auditing people that did this. And here is the report here. All the links in this video, we will have them down below, but let's scroll right here. So they did find a couple things, severity, high, low. Those were resolved. They've got some other things, little quirks here. The whole report here for you, if you guys want to go through it. It's quite extensive. Of course, we're not going to cover it in this video, but the audit is done. But additionally, too, let's go back here. Something important is that's not going to be the only layer of safety here. The redacted contracts are going to be still included in the existing bug bounty program. So going forward, there's going to be a layer of protection where people will be incentivized if they find an exploit that maybe this auditing firm missed, that they will be reported and rewarded instead of exploiting it, right? That's very, very important. Super, super cool, guys. So shout out to Redacted and the RUNE team. You guys are building something truly incredible there. And we're going to cap it there, you guys. Something very important happened this week. It's important to talk about ethos of THORChain and the RUNE app layer, right? Our ethos is pretty easy. It's permissionless, no KYC, and decentralized. Why does that matter, right? It matters because when you go to make a swap, it doesn't matter who you are or where you're from in the world, you want to make sure that it's executed and you get what you want. Of course, THORChain hates criminals. We don't like criminals at all, right? But infrastructure that's economic must be neutral. Because even if you have a good person that's in charge of the levers, they can put their fingers and move dials and twist knobs and pull levers. That authority can be corrupt one day and it can be weaponized against good people. It's best to remove this human element altogether. The state of the world is messed up because our economic is messed up. Our economics are completely upside down. By fixing the intrinsic first principles of economics, that's how you fix the world. And that's what THORChain is going to continue to do. Believe it, love it. We're never going to waver from this. That is what THORChain and RUNE is all about. Thank you guys for hanging out with us this week. Remember to always like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be having lots of videos coming in the future. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.